doesn't. No.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Afternoon,
afternoon,
Becky.
Sarah.
How are you, Tal?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Very fine, thank you.
Yeah.
Jonathan's having a few technical problems with his mic.
Hello, can you hear me now? Yes, good. Thank you.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can hear you now.
Right, thanks, Alberta.
Let's check. Ajahn, are you here?
Yes, สวัสดีค่ะ everyone.
Sawadika,
สวัสดี
Ajahn.
ครับอาจารย์ครับ
สวัสดีครับท่านอาจารย์
Shall we start? Zhao, would you like to start with the question we were just discussing on DSG about the paramis?
Yes, I like. And thank you for allowing me to speak.
Please
I
go ahead.
appreciate. I have a question about the relationship between understanding and the parami. And I think when there are right understanding, the parami is also present. But I've just read as Sarah answered in brief on the HG that Sarah said that when the right understanding of the path, not any understanding, develop, supported by all the kusala factor, the parami develop. So that means not any understanding, but just the right understanding of the path. So I can say parami and understanding develop parallel with each other or something like this, because the Kunsara just said, when the right understanding of the path, not any understanding. So can Sarah Achan and other elaborate on this interaction between understanding and the parami? Thank you.
Let me clarify a little about the comment about not any understanding first, and then Ajahn can elaborate further on the paramis. The point is that understanding is panya cetasika, and not every panya cetasika that arises is understanding of the path. For example, if we're talking about the development of samatha bhavana, panya is essential right from the start for the development of calm, but it's not the understanding of dhammas, it's not the understanding of dhammas as anatta. So it doesn't lead to the development of the Eightfold Path and to enlightenment, but it is panya cetasika. So there are two kinds of panya that develop. The panya that develops in samatha bhavana and the panya that develops in vipassana bhavana. When it is the panya that develops in samatha bhavana, we cannot say the paramis are developing, because the paramis are the qualities that develop with the right understanding of the path leading to enlightenment, not the development of understanding that leads to the attainment of samatha and jhana eventually. So that's the clarification on that point. And perhaps Ajahn would like to address your other question. Maybe you can just repeat it for her about the question about understanding and parami. Would you like to just repeat that point for Ajahn to elaborate further?
Yes, my question is the relationship between understanding and the parami. When there are right understanding, the parami is also present. So I think paramis and understanding develop in parallel with each other. Ajahn, please help me, Ajahn. Thank you.
Is Panya Parami?
No, Ajahn, no.
Why not?
Because
Is
because Panya is a Cetasika and Parami is the order.
isn't Parami Cetasika as well?
Yes,
So is Panya Cetasika?
yes.
So is it Panya? Is Panya Parami?
Panya is Panya Parami. I'm not sure, Ajahn.
See, what is Parami and what is Panya?
Paramis is a factor. Paramis is but a factor is leads to enlightenment.
Panya is a reality which
Yeah.
understands the truth. Is that right?
Yes.
So without Panya, can there be the moment of realizing the truth of what is there right now as it is?
No, Ajahn.
That's why understanding works its way to understand a little more, until it realizes the truth of what is there now as it is. But when it's not the moment of understanding the truth of what is there, how can it realize the truth? See? So we are talking about realities right now, whether it is right understanding of what is there as it is or not yet. So why do we listen again and again and again about that which is now appearing to condition a little more understanding, to get closer and closer to realize the truth which we have heard, which can be realized, not just understand the meaning of what is there as just a reality, but that is not enough. As it's known that it's a reality, it's not enough because the characteristic of that reality does not appear to be known yet, just to be talked about, learned about, thought about. But what is the nature of that which now is there? If it has a reason, it cannot be there. As soon as it has reason, it's gone. Is this true? It's not just the word which is true, the reality, the truth of it. Even we don't say any word, it's there now, arising and falling away. So the truth is that known little by little until it can be directly experienced. Otherwise, it's just thinking, believing, not realizing what we have learned of what is there now, not permanent at all. So parami is the moment of developing conditions to understand the truth as it is. Everyone says, this moment is not permanent. Before seeing, there's no seeing, and then seeing gone. Because other moment is not seeing, and so on. The truth is there. It is heard, it's considered, but it's not yet realized the truth. That's why, in order to listen again and again, because understanding that the truth can be realized, and it's not just talk about the truth. It has to be moment of the truth appears to be known as it is. But it's not yet that moment. That's why the moment of understanding a little more to develop the letting go of the hindrance, that which cover up the truth of this moment, can get less and less, and the reality can be experienced little by little as it is, until it suddenly, as it is, it appears one. Because of the understanding of the truth, get rid of that which is there as something, very gradually, little by little, stage by stage. Otherwise, how can the truth of that which now arises and falls away be known? While it's not yet appearing as it is parami. The kusala realities develops to have less and less akusala until the understanding develops gradually, unknowingly in daily life, until right understanding can be any moment, any time, arising by conditions, until the nature of that which now arises and falls away, appear as it is. Without the moment of understanding a little more of the benefit of kusala, how can the kusala develop more in a day? Because usually akusala is there. Even right now, it's not just kusala. There are also akusala. We are talking about that which is there. And what is there? What is a reality? Is a reality there? A reality not known yet. Just what is there? Thinking about the word, the meaning of the word, but not the nature of that, the reality, which what is.
And so, how many paramis are there?
There are 10 paramis.
And is one of the
That's why when Ajahn says Panya and the other, so for example, Metta Parami. So because I think the developed understanding is so deep and so subtle and not easy to understand it. And I think by myself, it needs parami help or support to develop understanding. So I just heard from Ajahn, understanding is very important, because without understanding, there are not any parami. So keep
there
going.
are 10 paramis. So panya is a parami. So
Yeah.
it's not panya needs the paramis. Panya is a
one
parami.
parami.
So yes. So it's the leading parami. Without panya,
but
no other paramis can develop. So panya is the parami, and the other paramis support it.
Support panya. Sarah?
Yes, panya needs the assistance of all the other paramis to develop. But panya is a parami. No paramis without panya.
Yes. And the rest 9 parami is support panya. Can I say like this?
Yes, without their support, without these other qualities, then panya cannot develop. but without panya, no other paramis.
But not,
So they
but not,
develop together.
but not I do anything like give someone or kindness which anybody, other people to develop parami. For example, metta cannot Yao give something to other people, he develop metta parami, but understanding he develop parami. Right?
Understand, it's just a dharma. They're different dharmas, wholesome qualities. If there's an idea of I doing anything, it's not the development of understanding of panya parami.
I mean metta parami.
So the metta and the generosity and the other qualities have to develop with understanding.
Develop with
Metta
understanding.
with understanding, generosity with understanding.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, for example, in the development of samatha bhavana, there can be very great.
I can't hear from you, Hunsara.
Metta with understanding, but what's happened to my sound? Can you hear it now?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yes. So metta can develop to a very high degree in the development of calmness, but without under self. It can never be metta parami. So it's the metta that develops with right understanding of the path. Path.
The sound from you not so good, Hunsara.
I think my sounds are sounds a little on and off. I think our internet's I think we're losing our internet. You try.
Yeah, thank you. And I understand about my misunderstood from Panya and Parami is different parts. So thank you, Achan. Thank you, Hunsara. Help me to about this. Thank you.
Like you say, it's a deep topic.
Yeah.
And I know Betty had her hand up. Would you like to go ahead, Betty?
Sorry. That's all right, because I now just got the answer. I realized the answer to the question because you explained it so beautifully. So I'd like to repeat the quote that you wrote, that you said, that to me totally explains the question I had, or answers the questions I had. You said the other paramis cannot develop without Panya parami, but the other paramis aid the development of understanding. So that fully answered my question.
They have to develop together.
Yeah.
The letting go of ignorance and wrong understanding, the development of satya parami, truthfulness, the wholesome qualities like metta with understanding, and so on. Upekkha, the evenness, the acceptance of what is conditioned at this moment. The virya with understanding. If there's no virya and no khanti, no patience, then understanding cannot develop. So they have to develop together, but with the understanding of dhammas.
Yeah.
And it means that even Panya does not arise together with the Kusala moment, but it based on Parami. That person understand. It's based on Panya because that person has the understanding of the truth. So whatever is there done, whether there is Panya arising together or not, but it's out of Panya as foundation. That's right. The everyday life, we can speak nicely and very, very good to the other. Even that moment is not just about what is done with Panya, concerning Panya or not, but it based on understanding the truth. That's why Panya does not arise each moment. But since it's firmly developed gradually, little by little, it conditions what is there in daily life by way of Panya, understanding what is nice, what is wholesome, what is better. That's why it developed as Dana Parami at moment of giving, no matter what is given and to whom is given, it doesn't matter. But the understanding is there underlying. That's right. Now we're talking about Dhamma. Is that Panya arises with each citta talking about it? It depends on how deep, how much, how little, but it based on firm confidence. Otherwise, it cannot be parami. And before it can be firmer and firmer, it needs more kusala deeds, no matter by way of dana or sila or bhavana. Right now, see? Understanding which has been enrooted is there as parami, but the moment of seeing or the moment of giving and the moment of talking about Dhamma is there sometimes a kusala in between, irritation or what, depending on conditions. It shows the truth of anatta-ness. Nothing can be controlled. It's there by condition. And without the firm foundation of Panya Barami, how can it become more patient and so on? And some lives, when there's no hearing about the teachings, but the foundation, the enrooted Panya as Barami is there, condition holds a moment in life with some level of understanding about the cause and the effect and so on. About not wanting or wishing any return from wholesome deeds. So it's the development of kusala in daily life. But without understanding at all, no matter how much good deeds has been done, but without parami, no understanding at all. What about the moment of mana? See, there is understanding about what is wholesome and what is unwholesome, but it's there by condition. But parami is there, being able to understand it, to see the danger of it. Little by little, by different conditions, different kinds of chittas are there. Uncontrollable, so right understanding or the basic, the foundation of understanding, whatever arises is conditioned, is there. Beginning to be patient, not to get more irritation, having such a kusala. Do you have less irritation, trouble, worry? And those are parami.
Yeah.
Letting go, unwholesomeness. Nekama parami. Until it's been nature, one's own nature, to behave such and such as parami, more and more, gradually, little by little. The Anya Barami, conditioned moment of considering Dhamma, discussing Dhamma, reading Dhamma, see, by conditions. And do we have to find out what parami? Nekama parami, to let go all kinds of akusala as it can be by conditions in such moment. Is now parami.
Yes. Yes. Ajahn.
Kindness. See, at moment of being kind,
Yeah.
compassion, understanding no one and nowhere. Gradually, even not in word. But be friendly more to everyone, no matter in what situation. Because of understanding, they are Dhamma, Citta and Cittasika only. That's why giving away things to the poor or the benefits of the other, a little understanding is there. Oh, very understanding of that person, see, depending on conditions. Or just give some time, but in truth, understanding of Dhamma is there, underlying. That's why Dhamma is so very subtle. If it's not there as the object, it is just that which is thought about. More careful, that's all. Until it conditioned moment of directly understand what is there, the nature of that as it is, not very clear yet, but it begins to know that that is object of right understanding because it's there appearing. Only that which is there appearing can be object of right understanding. Is the intention, is the secret wish or expectation to experience, to understand that? See? So very tricky. Lopa. So the parami has to develop on and on and on at any time by conditions. Developing the letting go, ignorance, and clinging, and all kinds of akusala by conditions at different moments. Just touching and reality hardness now. See, is it parami?
Yes,
Oh.
understand parami.
So it conditioned a little more satipatthana by conditions. By condition is so very, very difficult because if there's not enough understanding, it's not by conditions. That's why Panya works its way so very secretly, very, very quickly, see? So just let go at moment of touching, see, before it can be that moment. There are other moments of the developed gradually, understanding that it's that which is there. One moment, when will it be next moment? By conditions, unexpectedly. Today, see how long it will take to be accustomed to the nature of that which is there, as we have heard so long, many, many years sometimes, many, many lives. And this is the only way to let go ignorance and attachment, because it's so deep, or it's almost in a day, all the time. Even right now.
Thank you, Acha. I appreciate.
And as Ajahn has explained, Panya works its way. So to my understanding, this means that it's not necessary to think in terms of developing the paramis as something to be developed any more than it's necessary to think in terms of there being awareness and understanding of, say, rupas or sensed or objects or kilesa, because it's panya that determines what will be the object of awareness and understanding if and when it arises. So the purpose of learning about the different paramis is not so that there can be some focus on developing them, but so that they can be recognized as such when they arise as being paramis, as being a particular kind of kusala that's among the 10 paramis. Of course, it's not necessary either to think in those terms, but if one is familiar with the teaching on the paramis, then it may be a condition to reflect in those terms also. I think it's very important to accept that Panya does work its way, and as I understand it, it means that there doesn't have to be a particular focus to the development of awareness and understanding on our part. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. It's a very, very hard me when you said about the Panya work that is way. Because when I read about 10 parami easy lead to think about we will develop parami separate. Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
sir.
that's the trap. Like with all the other realities we learn about, it's not so that they can suddenly become the object of awareness and understanding. Yeah.
That's why that's why I bring up the question to Hunsara, and thank you, Hunsara, to
Right.
help me. Very appreciate about it. Thank you, Acharya.
Okay.
Nina, good to see you. Any topic you would like to bring up or any questions on what has been discussed?
Not any question. Thank you so much and nice to see everyone. Swadika Jan. I was just picking on the bottom side where Ajahn used to remind us that it doesn't, the reality of bottom doesn't really come easily. As for example, giving, it's not that the few dollars that we can give easily is a reality of bottom line. For me, I feel that bottom line has to come within a reality that we have to not fight, but a situation where it has to be, it's not easy, but it's tough so that it's develops the bottom line. For example, coming to study or listen to Dhamma or reading a book about Dhamma, it doesn't come easy, like listening to music. So these are the conditions that might help and support the bottom line. So this is from my understanding. Thank you, Sarah.
I think the key is always the understanding, because as understanding develops, the paramis develop naturally. Like in the example Ajahn gave, there's with more understanding, more inclination to give, because they're just different dharmas, or to be friendly. It doesn't matter whether it's the one who likes one or doesn't like one. There can be friendliness anytime to anyone, and the letting go of other kinds of akusala. I think the paramis develop naturally with right understanding, and one can see that when there is more patience, more metta, and so on, then more conditions for understanding to develop too. So this is why they support the understanding as well. So it's not I or anyone doing anything or having a tough time, but just letting the understanding develop very naturally. And then there's more inclination to listen and consider and discuss anyway. So less of a battle, less of an ordeal, because it becomes more one's daily life to consider, to reflect, to understand, to let go the strong clinging to I or the strong mana that makes life so difficult. But very gradually. And the more letting go, the more ease there is in life.
Yes, thank you, Sarah.
Very glad you can join each week, Nina.
I've been trying so hard, and it's a pleasure.
And Gillian, glad to see you back again. I know you will have been reflecting on the discussions from before. I don't know if there's anything you would like to bring up from last time, or anything you've been reading that you would like to bring up.
Just before Jilly speaks, I was just wanted to add a quick word to what Sarah was saying to Nina. And I appreciate what you were commenting on about the difficulty or the having to make an effort, perhaps to give or to attend the discussion or something like that. I think there's a difference between those two that should be recognized. And that is, it may be difficult to organize our other commitments so that we can attend a discussion like this, but it's not because there's an unwillingness to do so, but because there are competing claims on one's time. Whereas with the giving, if there's the idea that pushing oneself to give in order to develop that particular parami, for example, that we know that's not really developing the parami, is it? Because it's not something happening naturally. So I just want to make a distinction between the effort to do something because it's thought to be kusala, which is not a helpful approach, and the effort to make time to listen to Dhamma, for example, in one form or another, which is another kind of thing altogether. Thanks.
Thank you, Jonathan. I understand what you're trying to say. It has to come naturally. It has to come within the understanding that in a way you really connect to listening to Dhamma. It really helps to push yourself. I think there's a limit. Sometimes there's not going to be a consistent of condition that you will come again or give again and again. There will be a limit, right? If you push yourself, there's going to be a limit where you, like, it's like pretending. There's going to be a limit where you realize that, oh, okay, it doesn't give any results, so I'm gonna give up. Yeah, it's different. But what about Nekamet Baramai? Nekamet Baramai comes from, for example, when dosa arises, and we try to understand, not we try, but understanding that it's dosa, but at the same time, realizing that it's dosa, and trying so hard to it doesn't really come natural because dosa has to place is a reality where you feel pressured or where you feel pain or heartbroken for a period of time, but at the same time trying to realize all the lessons that you've been learned, you've been taught, you've been heard again and again, telling yourself that, like, you're talking to yourself that this is dosa. It doesn't come natural, but what is the split seconds of considering what we've been taught? Like, for example, that it's the clinging to ignorance, it's the clinging to self, which is the cause of dosa. Lopet, which is the cause of dosa. So for me, yeah,
I understand what you're saying, and I think we can summarize by saying the development of the path and of the paramis is not necessarily about having less agusala or stopping the agusala that has arisen. It's just about understanding what is the nature of the present moment. And if that nature is agusala citta, then so be it. Because the agusala cittas are also anicca, dukkha, and anatta. And it's those characteristics it's the understanding of those characteristics eventually that is the hallmark of development of the path. And so if we are to say, if dosa arises, then we need to somehow think of why, with the idea, of course, that will reduce it or stop it or make it less likely to arise another time. That's not the development of the path, because there's the idea of trying to influence
Yes.
the realities that arise. So with the understanding, it's sort of in a way a relief that it's not necessary to try to change in any sense the present reality, but just to have a better understanding of the nature of life at this moment, whatever that nature is.
Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Right.
Thank you.
And as you say, the dosa hurts. It arises with unpleasant feeling. There are lots of long stories about the hurt and the difficulties and feeling pressured and so on. And as you say, without clinging, no dosa, and without taking it for self or someone, it wouldn't hurt so much. So we can see the understanding which begins to let go of the idea of I, of someone, of my attachment, my understanding, my dosa, helps a lot, because it is the understanding that understands it's a Dharma. It's just a Dharma that's conditioned, arises for a moment and is gone. The dosa a moment ago, completely gone. The dosa yesterday, completely forgotten already. So it seems to last, but it's just a moment and it's just a Dharma, just like panya or clinging or kindness or meanness. So the understanding begins to let go of that strong clinging to I. And that's the way other kinds of akusala begin to be let go of through the development of understanding, not by trying to let go or feeling pressured to have less dosa or trying to stop it, but just understand it's just arises. It has to rise when the conditions, and it has to fall away instantly, just like every other Dharma, just for a moment. So the nekama is the letting go of the clinging to the idea of self and all kinds of akusala, but the clinging to the idea of self is at the root of the problems. So let understanding develop naturally rather than thinking there should be less dosa or less akusala or trying to have less, because that's the trap.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Were you trying to speak a moment ago, Julie?
Can you hear me, Sarah?
I can hear you very well.
Oh wow. Oh, I wasn't sure. I'm a bit technologically challenged here. Okay, you can hear me, but I'm
Several
just
of us are.
listening. I'm just soaking it all up. Thank you. I don't have a question at this stage.
If anything's not clear any time or anything you'd like clarification on, just let us know. Otherwise, we let you just
Thanks.
listen and soak it up. Yes.
Thank you. Thanks.
And Ajahn, would you like to add anything further to Nina's comments or anyone else?
I use sometimes be lazy to give. See, is that parami, that moment? Or at moment when you think that, can I give right now instead of just be too lazy to give? Because the receiver can get the use of that which is given quicker. See, because so many things in the drawer and somewhere to give, but too lazy. Is it parami at that moment? But at moment of giving, urgency to give, now, do now, that is parami. Is it not parami? Viriya Parami is there, not be as lazy as before to do good. So now understand that Viriya Parami, see, without giving away instantly, now it's not Parami until it's there giving away things. And there are so many things to be given away. But it depends on Parami, Viriya Parami, or not yet. So we can learn what is there in life as different realities at different moments. No one there at all. No matter what is done, it's by conditions. But the moment of thinking to do, it's I. Shall I do this or something else, and so on? That's the way to understand Dhamma. That's why learning about Dhammas can condition different moments of considering or living with wholesomeness or unwholesomeness by conditions in different ways. They are all Dhammas. No one can know what will be at all by conditions when it's there already. So now seeing is conditioned to see, and after that, all are conditioned each moment. And at that moment, it will be parami, not specify only this or that parami, because it is panya barami, nekama barami, viriya barami, kanti barami, satya barami, adidana barami, all together, depending on conditions, what are they? But one realizes that as long as it is firm confidence of understanding, the best moment in samsara is being able to understand the truth as it is, while it hasn't been understood before. For example, one reality at a time can be object. Now it cannot be like that, but gradually the moment of understanding a little more of a reality, different realities, it can condition the parami, it can be parami to condition moment of considering or being aware or instantly understand what is there by conditions, letting go the way it is, no matter what, which are the accumulation of akusla as before, little by little. So now, understanding parami, akusla cannot be parami, and no matter what manners of kusla, conditioned by understanding the truth that actually there's no one. There are only different dhammas. Some are wholesome and some are unwholesome. No one there at all. This moment of beginning to see a little more the danger of akusala, not understanding the truth of what is there appearing now. So when will it be realized? Because there can be a moment of learning to understand it's there by conditions when we talk about it. But what about other moments? Just as a hearing about it. There are different conditions again, to condition different reality, unknown again, unaware of again, until there are conditions enough, parami, to condition moment of being aware and develop a little more understanding, depending on conditions. And that is panya barami, which understand all conditions now. Who know? At moment of this moment or that moment, no one there at all. So gradual firm confidence of the truth And that is parami, which condition the other kind of parami, not only panya parami, unknowingly by conditions. Not to be as too lazy as before, to be moment of kusala, by conditions, see? It's not the excuse, but it's the understanding of the truth. The difference between kusala and akusala. What has been accumulated, avijja and attachment and other akusala, added more and more and more. Each moment, each day, each year, see how much to be got rid of. Until it's not the world of atta as usual. So firm, little by little, what is there is very short, never lasts at all. Life is like this, no matter what happens. Upekha parami can be at that very moment. It's the way it is. So we can talk about any kind of Dhamma, reality, to understand more about the truth that it's only reality. Anchor is just a moment. Where is it now? But why is more arising again and again? No understanding of the danger of it. That even at moment when it's there, it's harmful. The citta is not pleasant at all. Only akusala can harm, no one at all. And this is the first round of Arya Satya. Never enough moment of listening, considering, understanding of what is there now appearing. And what is there is so short, it's always unknown, unattended. And if you don't talk about it, this very moment must be unattended as before. And when that which said right now is not attended, how can it be realized? That I is there. Something is there when the truth is not attended. The word of atta before the truth appears as the word of anatta. And this is parami. And from now on, it can be moment of understanding, giving moment that is parami. Forgiveness is parami. All depends on right understanding, panya, to know that at that moment it is the parami condition to let go the idea of sounds and ignorance.
Yes, it's so powerful and helpful to appreciate more and more that it is only akusala. It is only the ignorance, the loba and the dosa that hurts, that harms, that causes all the disturbances and difficulties and heartbreak and so on in life.
And that is parami. See?
Excuse me, Tana John and Sarah, where does gratitude fit in?
Understanding the virtues, the goodness of the other that had done to us. At that moment, it's the appreciation of wholesomeness. See, how can that person be such good? And it can condition the moment of being good to anyone a little more. So goodness is not in the book, but it's in daily life. And it cannot be just thinking about the other's goodness. But what about goodness is goodness? It does not belong to anyone at all. It is moment of understanding that benefit of goodness. If there's no understanding of the benefit of goodness, how can there be moment of goodness? And that is parami, see. When there is the understanding as foundation, it understands the truth a little more and condition more moments for goodness too.
This is such an important point too, because when we think of someone's goodness or someone's meanness or someone's good or bad qualities, it just leads to more clinging and more dosa. But when it is the understanding of the quality, the goodness, the kusala, the understanding of what is harmful, nothing to do with anyone at all. This is the way that understanding develops and conditions more kusala, letting go of the idea of I, letting go of the idea of others being this way or that way. So understanding is so very powerful. It leads to all kinds of good qualities. And this is why it leads to more and more nekama, more and more letting go of ideas of someone, something. It works its way. Lucas, glad to see you joining. Do you have any comment or anything you'd like to say? or anyone else?
สวัสดีค่ะท่านอาจารย์แล้วก็คุณซาร่าสุภาสอนนะคะ ค่ะ
Good to see you, Kun Supatson. Go
ค่ะ
ahead.
ขอบคุณค่ะ a few minutes ago I'm not well. I got stomach ache, and I listened to the Dhamma discussion on YouTube. And I mean, you discuss about Balami. And if I'm not misunderstood, ท่านอาจารย์ say that the akusala akusala didn't develop to be balami. But for me, at that moment, I'm not well, and it's a lot of akusala because it's pain in my stomach, and I had decided to be on Zoom it and want to discuss about Parami, because I think the painful, the ache, would be could be condition for having understanding. คุณ Sarah or คุณ Jonathan, please help me to understand, myself, what's going on with me. It seemed that there won't be any akusala all the time. It means that there's understanding in Dhamma. There's kusala in understanding about Parami. Is that right?
And is there any pain now?
Yes, certainly.
How long does it last for?
I don't know. It started since yesterday. I took painkiller, and I got pain in my stomach since yesterday, and last night I couldn't sleep. I mean, I didn't sleep properly. I
Because
slept.
like the dosa and the heartbreak, it seems to last a long time, and we don't like it because it arises with unpleasant feeling. But the painful feeling, the painful bodily feeling, actually it just lasts for a moment and is gone. And of course, there are many, many moments of it. But in between, at moments of seeing or hearing, no painful bodily feeling. At moments of kindness, no painful feeling. At moments of generosity, no painful feeling. At moments of attachment, most of the day, no painful feeling. But this thinking, dwelling on the story of the painful feeling again and again with more and more dosa. So it clings to the story. It seems to last a long time. And it's all taken for my painful feeling that's lasted since yesterday until today. What about in deep sleep? Any painful feeling? So it's just a moment, just like the dosa, and gone. At a moment like just now when you smiled and laughed. At those moments of smiling and enjoying oneself. Any painful feeling? No. It's just when one stops and thinks about it and one thinks, oh, it's been there for a day and a half. So the painful feeling arises with unpleasant feeling. But what about all the thinking about the story of dosa? Those moments, no painful bodily feeling, but the thinking clings on again and again. So there's so much clinging to the story about it, my painful feeling, which conditions so much dosa on and on. But
That's
whatever
right.
arises in life, it's a Dhamma and it's gone instantly. So the understanding has to gradually let go of the idea of I and my feeling, my pain, my dosa, that lasts so long. Usually no one minds about the pleasant feeling or says I've got a problem, that the pleasant feeling of attachment has lasted since yesterday, because everyone would like to cling and have pleasant feeling. It's just the unpleasant feeling that everyone would like to get rid of. But actually the problem is the kusala that is harming, dwelling on the story.
I know. Well, what I would like to say, I mean, when I was on YouTube, right? Of course, I cling on, my painful feeling, and there's some understanding developed, especially in understanding about Parami, which is a kind of slowly developed understanding. And I guess right? Well, actually, there's kusala. If there won't be any kusala, I don't think I will join the zoo. I will be relaxed. I mean,
And at those moments of kusala, those moments of understanding, those moments of reflecting, the moments of listening about the paramis, at those moments of kusala, no pain at those moments.
Well, but it seems that
it arises again
all the time.
It seems like it's there all the time, but actually moments of kusala, moments of thinking of the other's welfare, moments of understanding Dhamma. So at those moments of understanding, no dosa, no painful bodily feeling at those moments.
Also, I think we should acknowledge that what you're talking about is something that happened already and all gone. So there's really nothing to be gained by trying now to analyze something that happened in the past. Who can say whether, and if so, how many moments were kusala and how many were akusala? It's just not a fruitful kind of thing to think about. So all we can say is that akusala does arise from time to time, naturally, unprompted. Well, sorry, not because we decided to have akusala, but uncalled for. Spontaneously is the word I'm looking for. It arises spontaneously, not because of our bidding it to arise. And if it did, it did. And if it didn't, if it does, it's there. If it doesn't, it's not. So what about the present moment? It's more, it's again passing by and capable of being the object of direct understanding, unlike something which has happened in the past, which can just be thought about. It's possible sometimes to say that discomfort, bodily discomfort, conditions some useful reflection. But it's not possible to say that there's any rule to that effect. And if so, how much useful reflection? It will vary from one person to another. Whereas being comfortable and, as Sarah's just pointing out, enjoying life is rarely less often a condition for useful reflection. But as understanding develops, the more understanding develops, the more one appreciates that it's not a case of this situation or that situation as being a good condition for awareness and understanding, but it's just any moment there are realities that can be better understood than they are now.
Therefore, if well, of course, I still feel painful, right? I don't feel comfortable there's discomfortable in my stomach. But anyway, there some understanding in, when I'm listening toท่านอาจารย์ Kun Sarah or Kun Jonathan, right? There's some degree of understanding developed, which I just want to know, this is a kind of parami, because, the topic you discussed before is parami. And, I mean, I had bodily discomfort, last night and even now. And there's some kind of, there's understanding, I mean, developed, I mean, a little bit developed. My point is this a kind of parami? Because there's, understanding. Sorry, it's a bit tricky.
We can just say, if there is understanding, then the paramis are being developed also. But does it help anything to think, oh, paramis are developing?
I just want to understand developing of understanding,
Right.
I mean, because
that's all that's important, really.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, in the past, I heard the word parami, and I tried to understand, the meaning of parami, which, I mean, as I listen to this, I mean, today discussion, I have a little understanding if, even though I don't know the word parami, right? I don't really understand the term of parami.
Yeah.
But why I had pain in my stomach, and I changed. If I understand that there's understanding, the sound of Dhamma, which there's some kind of understanding developed. It means that there's a kind of parami, slowly developed, right?
I'm sure you're familiar with the two arrows. So even the Buddha and the Arahats, everyone has to experience the results of past karma. So the bodily painful feeling is a result of akusala karma in the past, inevitable. It cannot be avoided in life.
Right.
But for the wise, no clinging, no dosa on a part of it. This is the second arrow, the aversion, the dosa, the clinging to the idea of my pain. So with understanding, more letting go gradually of the akusala, the clinging, the aversion, the story about I and me and my pain, because they are just dhammas that arise and fall away. So panya parami develops by understanding more about the truth of dhammas that appear at this very moment, like right now. That's why I said, is there pain now? How long does it last? Because actually it's a dhamma that lasts for a moment and is gone, but the thinking, the story carries on. So it's the understanding that gradually lets go of the idea of I or something.
Because I think it's very difficult to understand the developing of understanding. I mean, it's difficult to understand like the level of panya which is developed. Do you know what I mean?
It's difficult because the idea of I is so strong that would like to make it happen, that would like to control. There has to be the gradual letting go. This is the nekama parami that Nina mentioned, has to be the letting go of I. Otherwise, it's always going to be so difficult.
So, Kun Sarah,
Earlier we
but-
were talking.
Sorry.
Earlier we were talking about how kusala arises spontaneously in daily life, different kinds of kusala. Well, it's the same for understanding, awareness and understanding. If there's trying to have awareness and understanding, and it's not going to arise spontaneously. So one has to forget about, is there awareness and understanding now? Am I understanding? Is it developing? Blah, blah, blah. It's just the important thing is to continue one's interest in considering the true meaning of what the Buddha explained about the reality of the present moment, reflecting on that. And we don't have to worry about whether there's experiencing of the visible object or sound or anything like that. Because panya is very weak anyway when it begins to develop, so it's imperceptible, but it's there developing, and it's only after a period of time that it can be appreciated that there has been some development of understanding, right? So the focus should not be on is there awareness and understanding now or not? It can't. That's the being motivated by a wish, a desire to have more understanding. It has to be allowed to develop naturally, and so happen spontaneously.
And is there any like object of is there any object of panya?
It will be different for
because
each individual.
I don't know, which object should be, panya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no answer to that question.
That's I trying again. I trying to understand, I trying to have parami, and that it's that I trying that hinders the development of panya.
Oh, I understand.
It's the main hindrance is the I trying. Instead of leading to the right path, it takes one to the wrong path.
If Kun Sarah and Kun Jonathan didn't mention about, me, right? Or I, who trying to be, I don't even know myself that is I, who trying.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
that.
deeply rooted. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
I trying to have less pain. I trying to have the paramis. I trying to understand. I trying to find the right object. We're nearly out of time, so I'm going to invite Ajahn to add some
thank you
more.
very much.
Thanks, Kun Supat-song. Good to chat to you.
Thank you very much, Kun Sarah, Kun Jonathan.
What is pain? See, only thinking about it. But what is it?
Is akusala vipaka?
No. What is it? See, usually everyone forget. What
you mean painful?
Yes.
Pain is Intl.Dhamma.
No.
Still wrong?
More precise, to understand it, not just to say about it, to say anything about it, but to understand, to know it. It has to be known. What is it? What is there? Pain.
Is akusala nama.
But it's thinking about it.
I'm sorry ขอโทษค่ะท่านอาจารย์
that is just thinking about it.
อือฮึค่ะ
So forget again.
ลืมไปแล้วค่ะ ไม่ I'm not I can't not
forgot.
think very well
It's always forgotten for everyone when it's not firm enough. What is it? Pain is there, just like seeing now appearing.
ค่ะ
Pain appears when there is pain
yes
as object. But what is pain?
is painful is เวทนาอกุศลาค่ะ
Thinking about it again. Thinking about it again.
painful is เวทนาอือฮึ
Thinking about it.
I don't know I cannot think well but I think it's อกุศลาเวทนา
Yeah, usually it's forgotten all the time. Just think about it.
anybody ค่ะ well is anybody can help me คุณเมตตา or
I
คุณ
think I think that thinking is
I'm not quite well today I cannot think clearly
I think that thinking is painful. Thinking itself, it's painful, isn't it? Just my idea of painful is when I keep on thinking about something, anything. It's
I
it's
think
like
Kun Sapatson, yeah, sorry to interrupt, Alberto, but Ajahn is trying to get you to give your best answer and then listen to her response. So if she says it's thinking, just thinking about it, then consider why it's thinking and not understanding or something more than just thinking about it. Because you raised a question and Ajahn trying to help you sort the answer. So I suggest you keep. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop you in mid-track, Alberto, but I know time's running short today.
That's fine.
Ajahn, would you like to?
It's so real. It's so simple. It's real.
It's
Isn't it?
well it's real
It's real.
it's Dhamma
If you don't use the word Dhamma, it's real because it's there, but it's not known as it is. That's why it conditioned thinking, just keep on thinking about it. Or take it instantly as I. No one there. So at that very moment, it feels. So it's I who feels. But in truth, it's real. It's just a reality. Only a reality. And as it's not known as it's a reality, it is taken for many things by word. Ayatana. Is it ayatana? Say, just thinking that feeling is ayatana. It's a reality. Is it hard? Not hard. Because hardness is a reality, which is not pain. That's why learn to understand what is there is real. It has its characteristic to be known, that it cannot be other reality at all. It has to be only that when it's there. So it's not I, it's not me, it's not anyone at all. It is just a conditioned reality.
it's conditioned
conditioned by thinking to arise, make the rise impossible. Only its proper condition can condition that level of pain too. That's the way to understand no matter what kind of Dhamma, it's there already now appearing unknown as it is real, as it is. But it seems that they all mix, cannot be sought out, whether this is that or that it's not this and so on. Can pain be pleasant?
No, it's unpleasant.
So what is pleasantness?
Pleasant is happy.
It's
not,
real.
not pain, no pain. But
It's
pain
real.
unpleasant.
And the truth is that it's real.
It is real. Mhm.
So it's a reality.
It is reality.
It is conditioned. Otherwise, it cannot arise at that level at all. So no matter what in life appearing, it's real. Conditioned the reality to be different from the others. That's the way to have confidence of actually there's no one and nothing at all. When we talk about Dhamma, understand the truth of it a little more, as it's just there, a reality. So at that moment, not understanding yet that it is just a reality, it's real. Because I feel pain, as you said, I feel pain. So the truth is that no I, but the I is there. Until it's eradicated. Pain is pain. It's a conditioned reality. It's there and gone. Whatever arises falls away. Begin to have firm confidence of the very simple truth. It's real. It's gone. It's there. See, and this is life. The truth of life. So what is real now?
What is real now? Is seeing.
Right. Not I.
No, seeing, hearing.
Beginning to think about it, not to be forgotten. Until it's not forgotten, the truth is there. Understood? So it's Simon. สวัสดีค่ะ
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you very much,
อาจารย์
Ajahn. สวัสดีครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
ท่านผู้ชม
ขอบคุณค่ะ
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับ
สวัสดีทุกคนค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะคุณลิ
Thank you, everybody.
สวัสดี
Very sharp.